Okay, folks, listen carefully. I have some mind-blowing info connecting Ryan Reynolds and Chris Noth to Elvis and Trump. But first, go and watch this video that I did 7 days ago. This is the title. It's about that Peloton commercial and how it's connected to Elvis's return. You have to watch that one first because I don't want to go through all the information again in this video because I want to show you the new information. And in this video, make sure you watch all the way to the end because the very end, I mean the very last second, because I forgot to say something, but I said it at the very end, all right? So make sure you watch the very end also of this video. So you know Ryan Reynolds, he's a big-time actor. And Chris Noth, he's the guy who plays Mr. Big on Sex and the City, okay? And recently on the Sex and the City show, he was killed off, okay? And in the very first episode of the new Sex and the City, whatever the hell the show's called now, like I said, he goes by the name Mr. Big, okay? Mr. Big is, they're talking about either Trump or Elvis here because look, he died of a heart attack after a 45-minute Peloton class. And like I said, Peloton is an exercise machine. Anyway, it was 45 minutes. 45 connects to Trump because the 45th president was Trump, right? And look, now he has sexual assault charges against him. And here's a new commercial with Peloton. And look who's in it, Chris Noth now.
To new beginnings.
To new beginnings. You look great.
I feel great. Shall we take another ride? Life's too short not to.
And just like that, the world was reminded that regular cycling stimulates and improves your heart, lungs, and circulation, reducing your risk of cardiovascular diseases. Cycling strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels. He's alive.
Did you hear what they just said at the very end? He's alive.
Strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels. He's alive.
See, what they're trying to imply, that they're talking about the character Mr. Big, Chris Noth, who on the show Sex and the City was on the Peloton bike and he died after, being on the bike, you know what I mean? But now, after I did that video, they put him in that commercial. I mean, can you believe that? And now they're saying he's alive, but they just cut the ad, the commercial, because of his sexual charges against him. See, he was accused of sexual assault, so they pulled the ad, see? And you know whose voice that is that said he's alive? You see? This is Ryan Reynolds. He's the one who says he's alive. He's doing the Peloton commercials. Can you believe this? And like I said, if you didn't see that last video I did about Peloton, the one I told you to go watch at the very beginning of this video, then you are not grasping what I'm trying to show you here. Anyway, so now Ryan Reynolds is connected to this Chris Noth, okay? And you remember this commercial about the Satan 2020 that came out? And you know who was connected to this commercial? It's this Ryan Reynolds again, the actor. He has something to do with the Match.com, which was what that commercial was about. And I'm going to talk about who this guy is in a moment, but let me get back to the Peloton commercial first. And in that Peloton, the new Peloton commercial, which they pulled because of his sexual charges, do you know who this girl is that's next to him? She's one of those Peloton trainers, was in the commercial, okay? And what is this person's name that's next to him? Look at the person's name. Jess, it's short for Jessica, Jess King. You see that? You see that? She's a Peloton instructor. Jess King. Okay, and I told you Elvis was known as the King. Seattle's in King County. And Jesse, it's short for Jessica, but Jesse is what Elvis's identical twin who died at birth, that was his name, Jesse. Okay? And of course, JES also stands for Jesus, the first three letters of Jesus. Okay? It's complete mockery, but it's got the King. That's what's important. And I told you, Elvis Presley was born in Tupelo. All right? It's got the P-E-L-O. Just like the Peloton. It's got the P-E-L-O. Tupelo, where Elvis was born. I told you. And it's got the P-P. Tupelo. Two-P-P. I told you the P-P is the 1616. The ELO. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show it to you in a moment. And it's got the TON, the last three letters of Washington, because that's where Seattle is. Seattle, Washington. The P-E-L-O. Tupelo. And Elvis is the Tupelo King. Okay? And look what it equals. 130, 49, 140, 50. Equals the exact same as Washington. 130, 49, 140, 50. And I told you Seattle's in King County. And Elvis is the Tupelo King. You understand? Washington equals Tupelo King. Exact same numbers. And I told you that, what I just was showing you, that Washington equals Tupelo King, right? And Tupelo, look, it's two, T-U, can be T-W-O. You get it? Two, P-E-L-O. E-L-O is, I told you, it means God with a crown. In Hebrew, E-L means God. The O is a crown. E-L-O. And the P is the 16th letter. If you get two P's, it's 1616. And I told you Elvis is going to return on June 11th. So if you went 16 days, 1,616 days from Elvis's birth date, the day he was born, January 8th, 1935, it lands on June 11th, the 1616 number. Do you understand? These are impossible coincidences. Do you get what I'm saying? It's 2 P-E-L-O. 2 P-E-L-O. Ton, Washington. And it's P's. P is 16, P is 16. 2 P's. Because I told you that Trump and Elvis are 2 peas in a pod. Okay? Elvis had to have his devil twin. And because his twin died at birth, Elvis's, so Trump is his replacement devil twin. Like I said, Seattle is in King County. Elvis was known as the King. Anyway, back to this creature that was in the Peloton commercial that got canceled with that Chris Noth guy who died in the show Sex and the City, and he was resurrected for the commercial, okay? And they said he's alive. And like I said, Elvis was known as the King. Seattle's in King County, and her name was King. And look when she was born, May 29th. And why is that important, the May 29th? Besides it being JFK's birthday, because JFK was assassinated, right? Whatever, supposedly. The point I'm trying to make is it's about death and destruction, right? And he was born on May 29th, just like Jess King. And what else is important about May 29th? So pay attention carefully. May 29th, look over here. May 29th is the 149th day of the year, which leaves 216 days in the year. So the backwards birthday of May 29th, which is the 149th day of the year, would be the 216th day. So what is the 216th day of the year? The 216th day of the year is August 4th, Obama's birthday, the day that Trump gets his head wound. Okay, August 4th is the backwards birthday of May 29th. which is that Jess King, that girl that was on the Peloton commercial. Her birthday, May 29th, is the backwards of August 4th. And also, May 29th, on the old calendar, the Julian calendar, was actually June 11th on our calendar. So the day I'm telling you Elvis returns is June 11th, okay? So the June 11th is actually May 29th in the old calendar, which we used to be on, the Julian calendar. Now we're on the Gregorian. You see, it all connects to my predictions. How is this possible? Because those are only two predictions I made. The June 11th, Elvis return in Seattle after a catastrophic event, and the Trump head wound, which is August 4th, and May 29th, backwards birthday, is August 4th, what I just showed you. And you see the name Elvis, it equals 67. And how old was Chris Noth? 67. And what's so important about the number 67? 67 is the first number that adds up to 162 on the top, which is the most important number right there. Okay, and look, it even has the 45 right there, which stands for Trump. But the 162, let me tell you why that's important. First of all, it's the 216s again. Okay, I told you everything's about the 216, just like Obama's birthday was the 216th day of the year that Trump gets his head wound. It's the 216s, like the two P's, the PP. You understand? The Tupelos. All right, 67 equals 162. Why is this important besides what I just said? And look, it's even backwards. It's the 108. Elvis was born on 108, 18. And two of these, 18 and 18, because he had an identical twin, equals 216. 1 and 8, 1 and 8 equals 216. And that's the day Trump gets his head wound. But anyway, let's get back to the 162. Why is that important besides what I showed you?
203 days
The
remain until the end of
160,
the year.
sorry about that. The 162nd day of the year is June 11th. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And the first number that equals 162 was 67, and Elvis equaled 67, and Chris Noth was 67 years old. And 67 was the first number that equals 162 on the top, which I just showed you, which is June 11th, the day Elvis returns. Now back to this Ryan Reynolds thing. So he made this commercial, or he had something to do with this Match.com commercial with Satan. And I told you he had something to do with the Chris Noth Peloton commercial just recently, where he says he's alive. Because they're talking about Elvis and Trump. Do you understand? Anyway, who is this guy right here? Let's look at his name. So the guy who plays Satan in, connecting to that Ryan Reynolds is this Nephilim-looking creature right here. This steroid freak right here. Let me tell you what his name is. Here he is right here. That was the image that I just showed you. Look at this freak. Anyway, his name is Aaron. And Elvis's middle name is Aaron. Okay? Aaron W. Reed. Now check this out. If you take his initials, W, R, and A, that equals 42. W is the 23rd letter. R is the 18th letter, makes 41. And A makes 42. And I told you how important the 42 is. Okay? Because Seattle, Washington's initials is 42. Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington's the 42nd state. And June is the 42nd month. That's right. June is the 42nd month. If you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm talking about. And he was born on September 12th, one day after 9/11. Okay? And interestingly enough, 912 looks like the numbers 216 upside down. You get what I'm saying? The 6 can be turned to a 9. It would be the same numbers, really. Because he was born on 9/12, like I said. And Trump gets his head wound on August 4th, the 216th day of the year. I told you everything's about the 216. Because I told you, Elvis, this is his birthday, 108, January 8th. His identical twin died at birth. So if it's 108, 108, it would be 216. Everything is about destroying the twin. And that's why Trump gets his head wound on Obama's birthday, which is the 216th day of the year. The 216, the Tupelo, Tupelo, Mississippi, where Elvis was born. And you remember, I told you Elvis is going to end up being the mark of the beast, either his number or his name or his image. I don't know, but somehow Elvis becomes part of the mark of the beast after he rises on June 11th, after a catastrophic event. Like I said, I don't understand everything, but you remember I told you Levi's, everyone in the world wears Levi's at one time. And Levi's is an anagram for Elvis, right? And also the word lives, because Elvis lives. That's what they're saying. And you notice there's an R right here with a circle. Okay, if you've been watching my videos, the O with a crown, the O Elvis is something big. And look, it's got the R in there. And you know the R is the 18th letter of the alphabet. So again, it's the 1818. If you have RR, right, it would be the 216 again, just like I showed here. And why am I showing you this? Who is this RR? It's Ryan Reynolds, RR. You see? That's why he was chosen to do these stupid Peloton commercials. I mean, you know, connecting to Peloton and the Satan. Because Elvis is the image of the beast, man. All right? Elvis is Satan. Or whatever. He represents him. I don't understand it. And it just so happens Ryan Reynolds is 45 years old. Because I told you that represents Trump, too. Because Trump and Elvis are the devil twins. Trump is the 45th president. And remember, I was talking about the letter R with the circle around it on that Levi's. Because it stands for registered, right? And look, the TM. You know how important this TM is? T is the 20th letter of the alphabet. M is the 13th letter, makes 33. Okay? And why is this important? Why I'm showing you the TM? Because the letter TM stands for Tupelo, Mississippi, where Elvis was born. The TM. Do you understand? That's that trademark thing. Because Elvis is going to be the mark. The mark. TM. Get it? Tupelo, Mississippi. And where did Elvis die? He died in Memphis, Tennessee. The MT. So it was the TM. Now it's the MT. Because Elvis's tomb is MT. Get it? How many times do I have to do these videos for you people to finally get it? And why am I showing you this right here? What is the abbreviation for Mount? It's MT, right? Because George Washington, because I told you Seattle's in Washington, George Washington, his compound was called Mount Vernon. So it would be MTV. MTV, get it? And who is Vernon? Elvis's father's name is Vernon, you see? Mount Vernon, get it? MTV. And I've shown you guys this before. You know what MTV equals? Mount Vernon, MTV. It's the exact same numbers. Look at these numbers. It's going to be the exact same numbers, but backwards. 2617 is going to be over here. 5510 is going to be over here. For the same word, watch this. MTV equals the same as the word God. God is the backwards of the words MTV. You see? MTV was 5510, 2617. Same numbers. You see how they mock? And of course, you're going to have the 81108. There's your twin number again for Elvis, who was born on 1/8 and his twin died. And I told you everything is about death and destruction. So if you were to take, you remember his twin died, so 1-8, and the backwards would be 8-1, you know, the numbers, 1-8-8-1. If you went to August 1st, it'd be 206 days from January 8th, the day Elvis was born and his twin died. The backwards numbers of 1-8 would be 8-1, right? I'm talking about just the numbers. It's not the actual backwards birthday. Elvis' backwards birthday is 12/23. But I'm talking about just the numbers. 1-8-8-1 is 206 days in between. 206 is the Seattle area code. Do you see? I just showed this recently. I showed it years ago too, but I'm just saying I rehashed that information. But you see, it's about death and destruction. They're going to destroy Seattle. Okay? Get out of Seattle. And you know, my channel name got the 26 number in it, right? And that's the first time I was talking about God. And the word God equals 26. And I just showed you that the area code was 206. It's basically 26 with the crown. 260-206. You know. You see what I'm saying? The O is a crown. 26 means God. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you remember I was telling you that the number 67 is important. Elvis equaled 67, and 67 was the first number to get to 162, and 162nd day of the year was June 11th. And Chris Noth was 67 years old. This bodybuilder is 6'7". This, like I said, is Nephilim-looking creature who played Satan in that commercial that's connected to Ryan Reynolds. And like I said, that's that bodybuilder guy, the 6'7" guy, and that's the commercial, right? And that's the girl in it. And look at her name, Natalie. Nata. It almost says Satan, and if it had an S, it would be Satan. But Natalie Roy. That equals 32. NR, 32. The 16 and 16 equals 32. The PP. But anyway. This is the girl that played in the Satan commercial. Let's see when she was born. Natalie Roy. You know, this creature is an unknown. But look at her birth date. 11/6. 11/6 is the backwards 6/11. The day I'm telling you Elvis makes his return somehow. You know, not the actual physical Elvis, but his image or his name or his number of his name. I told you Elvis is going to be the mark of the beast. And look, she's known for something called Heartbreak High. Heartbreak is Elvis. He sang a song called Heartbreak Hotel. And I'm going to finish this video just like I finished the other Peloton commercial video that I did. So remember, P is the 16th letter. ELO means God with a crown. EL means God in Hebrew. O is the crown. TON is Washington. So it's 16, the P, ELO, 16 ELO. And I told you that the letters ELO looks like the numbers 370. So it would be 16370. This PELO, 16370. And from the day Elvis died, August 16th, 1977, to next year, June 11th, 2022, the day I'm telling you Elvis somehow manifests in Seattle after a catastrophic event, is 16370 days. Do you see it? 16370. It's the PELO. You see? P is the 16th letter. The ELO. 16 ELO is the 16370. And that's how many days are in between Elvis's death and his return. Can you believe what I am showing you? And do you understand what the PELO is, right? Besides the TON, Peloton, the TON is for Washington, and the PELO, it stands for the Tupelo, because that's where Elvis was born, in Pelo, Pelo. And is it a coincidence that Elvis was born in the first month and Trump is born in the 6th month? 1/6. And you know the insurrection happened on 1/6. That ridiculous Washington Capitol. You understand? Insurrection, because Elvis's resurrection is going to be on June 11th. Okay, 6/11. Anyway, folks, I could have made this video another 40 minutes long with the connections. But anyway, like I said, they canceled this latest commercial with Chris Noth and Ryan Reynolds, the Peloton commercial. I'll play it one more time and then I'm going to end the video. And listen, I could have broke down even the video and showed you some stuff in there, but it's bad quality and that's why I don't even want to bother.
To new beginnings.
To new beginnings. You look great.
I feel great. Shall we take another ride? Life's too short not to.
And just like that, the world was reminded that regular cycling stimulates and improves your heart, lungs, and circulation, reducing your risk of cardiovascular diseases. Cycling strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels. He's alive. Alive. Cycling strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels. He's alive.
He's alive, folks. Don't you see what they're saying? Elvis lives. He's alive. Anyway, folks, end of video.